In this video, you're going to see a step-by-step start-to-finish TPO installation of a 7-story condominium complex located in Venice, Florida, right on beautiful Venice Beach. So sit back and relax as we show you everything from demolition stages to preparation and to installation of this TPO roof. The first critical step in the process is going to be to stage the project properly to make sure that you've got everything laid out the way it's supposed to be. So day one, the entire day was spent on staging. Now this was a 7-story condominium, so we had to have a crane to lift all the materials up. There was no other way. The freight elevator wasn't big enough. We had to have a special box to lift the tools up in. The material was very heavy, so when you do the project, it was raining on this day, but we had to make sure that the wind wasn't excessive, or else they wouldn't have been able to do the lift. So weather conditions have to be just right, and you've got to be prepared for the crane when it gets there, because cranes are very expensive. Here come the tools. All of those white box-looking structures are actually the insulation that's going to go under the TPO. There is a lot of insulation. You'll see as we get further in the video, they were able to lift them up in bundles of 2, which saved a lot of time. However, that's a large part of the project, is getting all the insulation and other materials up onto the roof. Also, where you're going to put them on the roof, that's critical. Location, so you don't have to move them twice. So you really have to lay out your project properly. It took weeks of site preparation meetings and talking to our crew leaders as to how they wanted to approach the project to really get this right and have a site map on hand before we even started. This is what the conditions on the roof looked like the day after we did the crane lift. There was a lot of rain that day, and you can tell that this is a very flat roof. There's no pitch here whatsoever, and the water is just pooled up everywhere, so we couldn't do anything for a couple of days on the project until it dried out. This is why they needed a new roof. This roof was installed in the 60s. Back in the day, all they did was use tar and gravel and put it directly on top of cement. There was really no pitch. So we had to have a special map made for this project, and all the pitching was designed properly. You can see how terrible this area is here. I mean, there's literally about 4 to 5 inches of water all around just sitting here. It's hard to believe that it's not leaking into the building, but there was just a couple of areas where water had started to intrude, but we had done the repairs prior to doing the demolition. Now there are a couple of different ways you can choose to get the gravel off of the roof. A vacuum truck is one of the most effective ways. However, in this situation, there was so much gravel embedded into the tar that it wouldn't make sense to have the vacuum truck. It made more sense to have the men hand scrape as much as they could gravel off of the roof. And then we have 2 trash chutes that were installed professionally up the side of the building, and we dump them into dump trailers that are waiting below, haul off the material. And as we get further into the video, you're going to see how we do the demolition on the insulation and the tar that's on the deck. It's a pretty intensive demolition.
All of the stone
this is the end of
essentially removed from
the second day.
The one half of the building. Just have to do some sweep up and clean up over on this side, but most of it is down to the embedded gravel that's in the tar. So just aside from going around and sweeping up any loose debris and making a couple of extra piles here and there, this side is substantially completed as far as the stone removal goes. Looks like they've gotten the other half pretty well down too. Let's see what we have here. Yep, just have a few more piles over here, and then go around and broom sweep all the loose stuff into piles, and then we're ready to start cutting as soon as it dries out up here. I'd say there's a couple more days of dry out without any rain for us to be able to start removing this roof. But all in all, looks like they made some great progress.
Here you can see that there's a layer of paper and tar and gravel on top of the insulation that they put directly on top of the concrete deck. Back in the 60s, the 1960s, this was constructed. Now it held up, for a long time. I mean, this demolition that you're seeing here took place in January of 2024. So from 1960 to 2024, this roof did what it was supposed to do. But now there's more modern technology and things that we can put in place that'll do a little bit better and be more efficient.
So good news, it looks like these curbs that we talked about are just actually wood. So they've been removed. They won't be an issue any longer. They'll all be gone. We got down to the bare concrete over here. That's the old insulation. The engineer was here and certified the deck on this area already. We're making some good progress today. They don't hit.
Time is of the essence during this stage of the project, because once the deck is torn off, and if there is any rain, there's going to be big trouble. All the units below will be destroyed. There's absolutely no way to stop the water infiltration. So you have to watch your weather reports and know how much work the men can get done on a daily basis. Fortunately, we made out good on this part of the project. It took us 7 days to demolish this half of the building. And
Good morning, bright and early on January 23rd, 2024. The guys made some great progress yesterday. They got all the deck cleared and cleaned all the way up to this point. We started installation of the TPO. You can see the layers of insulation that we've replaced. Starting from the middle, it's at least 6 inches thick in the middle, and it'll taper off to about 1 inch at the edges. So you've got all nice brand new insulation up here. That's going to really help the people on the first floor, I'm sure. I mean the 7th floor. Good insulation. All right, so here we are, the end of the day, January 23rd. Let's give you a little update what's happening here. All the demolition is done halfway on the first section of the building. So I'd say we got about a quarter of the building demolished, and we've reinstalled up to this point here, as you can see. We've run into some situation with the electrical here. You can see that these blocks that the old panels are connected to, the wires are pretty much stretched to their maximum. When the guys are demolishing the curbing, the boxes are just falling apart and deteriorating. You can see this box right here. This is what we're finding inside the boxes. They're just falling apart. So anyway, that's something that we discovered. We are currently fully insulated up to this point. They're beginning installation of the TPO, as you can see. Insulation looks great. This is going to be a really nice, clean installation. You can see how clean and neat it is between the air conditioning units now, with those curbs gone. These are the old penetrations where the wires come up. So this is the point that we've gotten to today. Heat welding to make a watertight seal. This is a critical part in the process to keep the roof watertight. Nice. Beginning of the day, January 25th, about 8 a.m. We're starting demolition of the third bank of air conditioners. All right, bright and early on the 26th of January 2024, we've made some great progress. We have everything just about sealed up all the way to half of the building. So by the end of today, we'll have half of the building completed and we'll have it totally sealed up by tomorrow. So one half of the building will be totally completed and sealed by tomorrow, Saturday, which is great news. That way, I think we'll get to test it out for the first rainstorm coming up Sunday. We're supposed to get rain. So we're looking good. You guys are making great progress. And very happy with what's happening up here today. Demolition will be completed by the end of today on half the building. So rest assured, the residents under this half of the building won't have any more jackhammering going on. All right, beginning of the morning, January 27th, we got the first bank just about all sealed up. We're going to be all finished here on the first bank. Second bank of air conditioners is all sealed up temporarily for now. We have rain coming potentially tonight and tomorrow. They are going to have the third bank finished today, as well as they will have all the way up to the first half of the building fully completed. So we'll be halfway completed by the end of today, Saturday. all the way up to the divider on the top. Here's one of the roof drains. Very nice. Very nice.
Good.
Very good. It looks good, man. Very good.
Okay.
All right. Here's the update for Monday, January 29th. One half of the building is substantially completed. All of the drains were put in place. We had a rain over the weekend, so everything held up really well. We have temporarily covered the penetrations for right now between the banks of air conditioners. They'll be completed as we move along. So you can see the roof is all tight and dry. All the drains were actually completed. They look great. They held up well over the weekend with the rain. Everything looks really good. We're starting the second half of the building, demolition and installation today. Well, no installation. Well, maybe some installation, depending on how much demolition we get done. But that's where we stand as of Monday morning. January 30th, 9 a.m. Demolition continues. Installation begins. We are currently at the east end of the building, working our way west. Eight o'clock on January the 31st, 8 a.m. And we've gotten all the way up to the second bank of air conditioners. They're demolishing the second bank. They've got all the insulation installed all the way up to the second bank. By the end of today, I would anticipate they would have all the installation and demolition done up to the third bank of air conditioners. It looks like we're on track for that today. So it's going well here. right, here's the progress for February 1st, Thursday morning. The men have got the TPO installed all the way up to the second bank of air conditioners. All the demolition is completed up to the third bank, and insulation is starting to be installed up to the third bank. It's looking really good up here. We will have all the demolition completed by the end of today, it looks like. All the cleanup done, sealed up, and once again ready for the rain coming this Sunday. It's almost like a photostatic copy of last week. Big push to get done for Sunday so we can test out the waterproof ability of the roof. Everything's looking good. Good morning, guys. You want to be famous? No. This goes to the board. San Marco board. Say hi. All right, here's the report for February 2nd, bright and early in the morning, about 7:30 a.m. We've gotten all the way up to the elevator shaft as far as the installation goes. Demolition is just about 100% completed. Everything's looking good up here. It's Friday morning. The guys cover everything up every night just so the dew doesn't get the insulation wet. That's why you see all this stuff covered. Today we'll have all the parapet walls installed and welded. We'll make sure we get all the banks of air conditioning units all buttoned up as far as the legs. We've got today and tomorrow, rain coming again Sunday. So the push is on. We will get it accomplished. We just have this small bit of demolition left to finish. And then installation can begin in all these areas. And I'm very confident that we will be sealed up and watertight by Saturday evening. And that is your report for Friday, February 2nd. All right, here we are, February 3rd, Saturday morning. The guys are up to the third bank of air conditioning with the TPO installation. All the demolition is completed, and we will be wrapped up and substantially finished with the project by the end of today. Probably going into next week with the cap and some miscellaneous touch-up things, and that's about it. Next week should be the final week, but all the major demolition is completed. Thank God. I'm sure you guys are all happy about that. And we are just about a wrap on Saturday. All right, here's the report for February 6th. We are back to work today after Sunday rain and Monday rain. Everything held up real well. Now it's Tuesday morning. The guys are just here. Electricians are starting from the east side on the electrical banks, working their way to the west. And everybody's here busy just buttoning everything up. I would say this week we should be 100% completed. Cap and everything. We ended up sealing this entire wall. A little overkill, but better safe than sorry. So the entire wall, the entire elevator shaft has been wrapped in TPO, as well as this wall here. That way there's no room for any kind of water to infiltrate through the walls or the gaps at the base. And it's a great project. And we are completed with the roof as of today. All the coping is installed. All the penetrations are sealed. The only thing we have left is to crane lift off the material and the tools, and then to do a final cleaning on the roof. But we are completed. All right, this is it, the final farewell. We're getting all the material that's left over up there down, and we are done as of today. Outside of punch list, we're ready to move into the punch list phase of the project. So it's been great. Thank you, everybody.